Hello and welcome to the introduction to the new Feathered Friends Turnabout stamp set and Feathered Friends dies. If you're familiar with Concord and Ninth and their turnabout designs, you know they have several. And this month we have these like floral design birds. It's kind of looking Scandinavian. Lots of sentiments. Congrats. Hi there. Thanks for all you do. You brighten my day. You are everything, and bravo. So some of the birds are individual stamps. Some are part of the turnabout. On the back of the packaging, it shows you what it looks like with all 4 turns. Now, as far as the Feathered Friends dies, you can die cut these solid bird images. Okay, I'll show you. I've die cut the dies to give you a better idea of how this looks. So the die can die cut a stamped image, but you could also pair it with the detail and it becomes like a floral design bird. So here's one that was stamped with sprout ink and then die cut. And here's one that was die cut with both of the dies, and it gives you that kind of Scandinavian design within the bird. And then here's one with like the wide open wings, stamped that with sorbet, and then this one with parsley with the detail included. And another thing you can do with the detail is make it like an inlay design. So you can die cut it. I die cut the bird out of sea glass ink, and then all the little details I die cut again with white cardstock and pink and parsley. There's also a thanks word die here, and as well as a tiny little heart. So those are all your dies. Some can be stamped, some can be purely die cut. And then here's what the turnabout looks, stamped one time using sea glass ink. So that's one time. Then I turned it and I added Oceanside. Then I turned it or rotated it and I added grapefruit. Rotated a 4th time and stamped sprout. So those are the 4 turns, how it looks. You can stamp it once, twice, however you want your background to be. Here's another variation. I stamped this 4 turns with sea glass ink onto sea glass cardstock. Here I stamped it 4 turns with white pigment ink onto grapefruit cardstock. So a lot of different looks. I want to show you how easy this is to stamp. So I have a white panel of cardstock already loaded in the jig. And then I have my Feathered Friends Turnabout stamp and I inked it up with Sprout ink. I have my jig loaded to 1, so you always know where you're at. Then I rotate it to 2. I'm going to clean my stamp and stamp it with another color. So if you've done this before, you know, but I actually, this is going to sound crazy. Every time I do a turnabout, I have to read the directions on my little jig. My packaging, it has the directions. Because you know what? I can only remember so many things in life. You know what I mean? And loading the jig is not one of them that stays with me. So if you're like me, you probably have to renew yourself every time you do a turnabout. But once you get it loaded right, and you rotate it 4 times with all the different colors, you feel like you've conquered the world. Okay, so I stamped it with, so far I've stamped with Sprout, Aqua Sky. Here I'm doing grapefruit. By the way, have I mentioned that the Concord 9th inks stamp like butter? 4th and final rotation. And I do clean every time. If you're changing colors, if you're not changing colors, you don't need to clean. Last one with parsley. And what can I say? I'm inking up the Feathered Friends with parsley. And I am using the original large MISTI for this. And it stamps like butter. So there you have it. 4 turns. Sprout, Aqua Sky, grapefruit, and parsley. And now I want to show you a couple projects that I've created using the Feathered Friends products. Okay, I've made little mini 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 square cards. Here I stamped the birds with a lot of Concord 9th inks. You got 3 rows of 3, doing that gradation, getting the gradient feel. I die cut them, popped them up, embossed the sentiment. Here I did the background out of sea glass, did that inlaid bird with that thanks word die. And that is the introduction to the Feathered Friends Turnabout stamp set and Feathered Friends dies.